Sally and Ann are doing their thing at Ann's antique shop when a mystery woman approaches.
Well, what do you think?
I beg your pardon?
Sally, it's me, Linda, Union High.
I'm sorry.
Well, I've lost 103 pounds since then.
103 pounds?
I was really a tub. Oh, maybe it's the hair that's throwing you. It used to be a mousy brown.
Okay, so picture a 200-pound mouse and try to jog your memory, Sally.
Maybe it's the nose. I had it bobbed.
Okay, a 200-pound mouse with a long nose.
You like?
Very nice.
Come on, Sally, think. They used to call me Bubbles.
Bubbles? Bubbles? Bolitnikoff? Bubbles? Oh my gosh! Oh my Bubbles!
She lost 100 pounds, changed her hair color, and got a nose job and expects Sally to recognize her. This is gonna get weird, isn't it? Turns out they're both newlyweds, so they say, we have got to get together with our husbands. Linda insists that their first get-together has to be at her place.
Sorry, we gave it the office. Say, the Tupperware party's not till next week. Hi, you guys! Welcome to Funhouse!
Most viewers know Pat Harrington as Dwayne Schneider on One Day at a Time. We've seen him several times, and I could probably find a better way to say it, but part of his approach to comedy was being irritating. Rarely has that been more apparent than right now. When you do a joke like that on new people, you do a joke like that. You don't do a series of them. One and done is a good little motto, especially when the jokes are so old they get more Social Security than I do.
Sally, I'd have given anything to see the look on your face when you first laid eyes on the new Linda.
Well, I couldn't believe it.
Did Sally tell you I was a tub, John?
Yes, she did. Tell me that you've lost all the weight.
103 pounds.
103, no more, no less. If she gains or loses another pound, he's divorcing her.
Actually, Sally, I was a little disappointed that you didn't comment on my teeth.
Your teeth?
Yes, they're in cat.
Oh, yes, John, aren't they lovely?
Yes, that's a good color for you.
I gave her the cat for a wedding present.
What a nice gift of love. Your teeth are ugly. And while we're at it, let's change your hair, your nose, lose a ton of weight, stop calling you Bubbles, and wonder why Sally doesn't recognize you.
Lovely honeymoon we had. Mexico was the greatest.
Had a good one, huh?
Except for the water.
Oh, that'll get you.
But after I learned to drink tequila instead, everything was fine. Except now I'm hooked on tequila.
Fortunately, you don't have to be able to pronounce it to be allowed to drink it. That may or may not be a good thing.
Guys, is that all you're gonna eat?
Actually, Fred, I'm really full. I couldn't eat another bite.
Neither could I. This diet lasagna certainly is filling.
Well, it's salt-free, sugar-free, starch-free, fat-free.
Taste.
It's very unusual.
Oh, that's the imitation Parmesan.
Sawdust masquerading as cheese will do it all right.
Say, I'm gonna skip the coffee and set up the projector.
The projector.
We have a surprise for you. Fred took some wonderful honeymoon movies. You'll love them.
And after the movies, I'm gonna show you my cactus collection. I've got over 40 varieties.
Of cactus?
It's my passion. I mean, they're such sturdy, wild little creatures, fighting off nature's elements without the care or concern of mankind.
Before the development of the World Wide Web and other online ways of connecting and sharing stuff, home movies were the bane of any dinner party. Pulling out the projector and screen instantly tagged you as a nerd that people with actual lives didn't want to be around. When I was a youth, my parents took me all over the country. Every summer, we took a trip to somewhere that we had never been before. For my 11th birthday, I rode in a helicopter and toured the greater Los Angeles area for an hour. I spent my 15th birthday period exploring Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia. One year we made a circuit around the outer edges of the United States, down the East Coast, clear around the Florida weenie, and back up the Gulf Coast. I've seen just about the whole country, and we had a movie camera. We shot lots of film, and someone still has it somewhere, I think. Anyway, when we pulled them out, it was because we wanted to watch them. We never inflicted them on anyone else without asking if they were interested, and no was a valid answer. I'm not sure Frank and Linda have learned that word yet.
Isn't Fred the greatest?
He certainly is a great guy.
Yeah, sure is.
Oh, I am so lucky, and I'm so proud of what he's doing now.
Just what is it that Fred does?
Well, he used to be a CPA, but he found that a little dull.
I guess it isn't for everyone.
So he needed a challenge. So now he's in parking lots.
That's very challenging.
Yes. When I first got into the business, I could see there was a crying need for imagination. So the very first thing I did was to paint my parallel spaces with blue lines and my diagonal spaces with orange lines.
He can tell you 1,001 facts about the difference between parallel spaces and diagonal spaces, whether you want to hear them or not. Between that, the movies, and some amazing facts about cactus, I think John and Sally would like to have Frank and Linda arrested for stealing an entire night of their lives.
Honey, we're going to meet these marvelous new people, and we're going to be such great friends.
That does sound vaguely familiar.
Oh, she's exciting.
Seemed exciting. She seemed exciting in the store.
And he must be exciting, too.
It was a guess, a bad guess.
Honey, this was the longest night of my life.
Your judge still got a big laugh.
The only relief was when Fred ate Linda's contact lens.
Linda mentioned that she lost a contact lens and it might be in the salad. At least Fred was the one who ate it. This was before the development of soft contacts. That was a solid piece of glass he ate. I hope he appreciated the extra crunchiness in his salad.
Honey, we have a whole lifetime together. I'll make it up to you.
It may take a whole lifetime.
Well, at least it's over.
Hi there. We just thought we'd stop by to give you this.
Or not.
Fred saw it in the nursery and thought it'd be perfect for you and John.
It's a Cephaloserius senilis, Mexican old man. Big favorite with collectors.
Well, Fred talks to his, but that's not really necessary, is it, sweetie?
Not unless you want to practice your Spanish.
I refuse to say what it reminds me of.
I am home. My star. Hi, Fred. Hi, Linda.
Hey, big guy.
John, look at the handsome cactus that Fred gave us.
Yeah, that is handsome, Fred. Thank you.
Forget it.
Look, I have a wonderful idea. Seeing John is starved, why don't you two join us for dinner?
Hey, I know a fabulous French restaurant, and you don't need reservations.
Well, if he doesn't have access to a movie projector, maybe things will go better, yes?
Remember I told you Friday night was the longest night of my life?
That's what you said.
The record's just been broken. Tonight. Hey, the only thing duller than being in with the Fowlers.
Is being out with the Fowlers.
Maybe things will get better, no. They have to find a way to get rid of these people. Unfortunately, propriety dictates that they have the Fowlers over to their place at least once. Is it possible to throw a dinner party and get it over with in less than 2 minutes?
Well, they say there's no end to what the human constitution can bear.
Whoever said that hadn't met the Fowlers. Oh, if there's a God in heaven, don't let that be them.
It's not. It's Jerry with his latest girlfriend.
Jerry, how good to see you.
See what I tell you, I got a brother you just can't disturb.
Oh, I thought maybe it was too late to just drop in.
Sally and John, I'd like you to meet Mimi.
Hi.
Hi, Mimi.
This poor girl was having trouble with her motorcycle.
It just wouldn't work.
Sounds a lot like Jerry.
So I thought since we were in the neighborhood, we'd drop in and cheer up the Burtons.
I used to watch The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson every night, and it was always a major laugh fest when he did Art Fern's Tea Time Movies with Carol Wayne. There's a whole bunch of them on YouTube, so check them out after we're done here. The focus was always on her rather prominent baby feeders, and she played the basic ditzy blonde like she's doing here. She wasn't ditzy, but those kinds of roles were about all she could get since she had virtually no education. Her mother pushed Carol and her sister Nina into performing starting when Carol was 3. At 15, she joined the Ice Capades, which meant dropping out of school. Again, none of this was her idea. Her mother was living vicariously through her daughters. Both of them skated with the team for a few years, but around that time there was a thing that some people did that was just stupid. They would throw pennies onto the ice. The coins would melt into the ice, and if a skate hit one, it could be disastrous, and it was for her. She hit one of those pennies, crashed hard, and did serious damage to her knee. That was the end of the Ice Capades. You have to hope the goon who threw the penny got sufficient jollies out of it. It only got worse from there. She couldn't find any roles except brainless sex pots. She did a spread in Playboy and a few other things just for the money, but by this time she was heavily into alcohol and cocaine, and soon enough she had to file for bankruptcy. Family and friends begged her to go to rehab, but she never did. Then in 1985, she was vacationing in Mexico with a friend when they had a serious argument. She went walking on the beach and nobody saw her alive again. 2 days later, some fishermen found her body floating in the ocean. The official cause of death was accidental drowning, but questions remain. It's a tragic end to a tragic life that got off to a bad start thanks to bad parenting. Your kids aren't you. They have their own personalities and lives, even at 2 or 3 years old. Let them be themselves. You had your shot, and this is where you ended up. Accept it and let your kids have their turn to find their own stuff. And the first time you're tempted to say, I really wanted to do this, I wonder if my kid would, stop and remember Carol Wayne.
What do you have to do around here to get a drink?
All you have to do is show us your smiling, happy face.
And promise that you'll join us for dinner when we have our newest and dearest friends over, the Fowlers.
Mimi won't be there, but they'll finagle both Jerry and Ann into doing it, because family do favors for each other.
Of course, what a lot of restaurants do with their parking lots, if business isn't too hot, they go to diagonal lines for their spaces. Accommodates fewer cars. But the parking lot looks nice and full.
I never realized that. I always took parking for granted.
Sure, most people do. They just drive in, never give it a thought.
A lot more to it than you ever imagined, huh, Jerry?
Yeah.
Ann is trying to subtly suggest that she and Jerry need to leave, and nobody's taking the hint. Fred and Linda don't understand such language, and John and Sally are studiously ignoring it. Jerry isn't. He'll pick up the signals and find an excuse for them to leave for a few minutes.
Oh, what a sweet couple. But they're so shy, they hardly said a word all night.
They will.
Your brother's a great guy, John. Trumpet player, huh?
Yeah.
I used to play the tuba.
Well, somebody had to.
So Sally has to try to remember a 200-pound mouse with a long nose and a tuba. Please tell me you didn't bring it. John and Sally try to find a way to dump these guys, but they are totally oblivious. What I wonder is, they're in their own home. When they were at Fred and Linda's, he was the host, and it was sort of natural for him to dominate the conversation. They don't have to let him do that here. John's a good enough lawyer that he should be able to spout plenty of garden fertilizer to keep Fred from being able to start telling his parking lot stories. They're both afraid of hurting these people, but they aren't doing themselves any good. And it gets worse.
We certainly are lucky people.
Certainly are.
I mean, not only do Linda and I find you two for friends, but now Jerry and Ann. I mean, the 6 of us. What a team.
Oh, it's such a warm, loving feeling. Shall we, Fred?
Sure, let's.
Have we got a treat? For you. We just happen to have in our car our honeymoon movies.
With the projector and screen, our group needs to think of some way to get rid of these people.
How about a small fire?
Why don't you just sit down very quietly, tell them you can't stand them another minute?
Andy, that's so mean. It's not like you.
I've never been pushed this hard.
Well, maybe we should just be honest. What else can we do?
I don't know. They might not get it. They're so square.
That's it.
What's it?
They really are square, and the only way to deal with squares is to shock them.
But, Jerry, how? Well, look, they're human beings. We don't really want to hurt their feelings. Forget that. Just how?
Leave it to Jerry. He knows what to do.
Listen, I know this guy that's got this real nice pool. He keeps the water real hot, about 90 degrees, and I thought maybe you and Linda would like to join the four of us, and tomorrow night we'll go nude swimming.
Told you it was too soon.
Either you swing or you don't. What about it, Fred?
I think we should go.
Fine, I'll help you with the projector.
I think we should go nude swimming.
Okay, Jerry, what else you got? Linda loves the idea, so it's all set. That there's what you call a backfire.
You know, maybe Jerry's right. Maybe they were just putting up a front with us last night.
But they're already 45 minutes late. Maybe.
Definitely. They never intended showing up in the first place.
I'm telling you, they're just bluffing.
How long does it take to drain a pool?
Maybe it's not them.
Don't anybody move! It's a raid!
It's them.
They say, how does this go? Jerry and Ann say something to the effect of, we just sit around and hang out, and eventually somebody realizes it's time, then we all follow that lead. If they never decide it's time, well, that's how it goes sometimes.
I don't hire just any guy off the street, you know. I try to get college graduates. They're hard to come by. So what I do is I look for college students. Seniors, if I can get them. Most seniors are fairly bright. Some seniors even respect other people's property.
Nobody specified who's supposed to make the first move. Now what?
Hey, come on in, you guys. The water's fine.
Well, you gotta admit, they really bluff good.
Now, Jerry, that was your idea.
Yeah, but you were my partner. Come on.
So, will John and Sally join in?
I never felt so silly in my life.
You and me both.
I was afraid it was kind of a cruel joke.
Yeah.
But I had no idea we'd turn out to be the butt of it.
Ha ha, for you, they won't tell. Those lines could mean either one, so keep guessing.
Hi.
Oh, speak of the Fowlers.
We'll only be a minute. We wanted to talk to you. We felt we owed it to you to do it in person.
The short version is they're dumping the Burtons. When the Burtons were trying to dump them, John made this speech about what happens when friends spend too much time together. He's about to hear it back at him.
Sometimes two couples meet and really seem to hit it off.
And they see a lot of each other, which could create a problem about neglecting their other friends. So we thought that maybe...
We'd back off a little.
Not that we aren't thrilled to have met you guys.
And grateful, especially for introducing us to Jerry and Ann.
Yeah, they're real good sports.
Well, that's about it. That's what we wanted to say.
Well, shucks, I guess they're just not parking lot lovers. I'm sure they're devastated.
I can't believe it.
Mission accomplished. No more Fowlers.
So it seems.
Yeah.
And no hurt feelings, right?
Right.
If you overlook the fact that they dumped us.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, with our limited interests. I mean, considering the fact that we're not into home movies. We don't know anything about cactus, right? And we're almost totally ignorant on the subject of parking lots. I suppose the Fowlers thought that we were just a little too dull.
When people decide to be friends, they tend to ask about each other's interests. Linda's only interest is Fred, and all Fred wants to do is talk about himself. I want to ask him what John's hobbies are, what Sally does at the store, what they like to do together in their spare time. Although I think I know the answer to that last one.
Little do they know.
Yep, I was right. better way to other online. Well, shucks. Answer to last one. Good grief.